Now, I want to then move on to the DSTL, Porton Down. So Theresa May was visiting. Here she is. Yesterday, I visited Salisbury, 6 years from Russia's brazen use of a chemical weapon on British soil. It was a pleasure to thank staff at dstlmod Porton Down for their professionalism and for everything they do away from public view to keep our country safe. So, you know, she's not worried about making the point that Porton Down's right beside Salisbury, where the alleged chemical weapons attack on the Skripals happened. But I just thought, for the sake of a bit of a laugh, we would have a look at some of the comments under this. So first of all, we have Honesty 2022 here saying the criminal perpetrator returns to the scene of her own crime. So somebody gets it. Then we have Rob Bravo here saying, yeah, and wasn't it an amazing stroke of luck that the first person to go to the aid of the Skripals was the chief nurse of the British Army? And indeed it was. And then we have Charlie Radner here saying, here we go, anti-Russia rhetoric mixed with the old fear factor. And let me guess, we must be sending more pounds to Ukraine, soften us up. Well, I think that's a fair point. But a couple of weeks ago, Charles was talking about DragonFire. And DSTL, all over their Twitter account over the last couple of days, really excited about DragonFire. This is this, how do we describe it? The directed energy weapon. Let's have a look at a little bit of video that they've been posting on their Twitter feed.
The DragonFire laser has achieved a UK first with a high power firing against an aerial target. With precision accuracy and costing only around £10 per shot, it's a potential game changer for air defence. Working closely with industry, the UK continues to invest in cutting-edge technologies to keep the nation safe.
So, Charles, you were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. They're clearly extremely excited about it. I mean, I'm not sure if you've got any more thoughts.
Well, apart from it sounding like Liz Truss has done the voiceover for the publicity, yeah, I think they do seem to go on about the cost of it, the cost per shot. I mean, on a serious sort of defence note, if it were a capable technology and there was a certainty that it didn't harm the user and that there was not collateral damage, all of those things I think are completely unproven at the moment, then in comparison with weapon systems that would wreak similar havoc, the price would be astonishing. I mean, you know, £10, if what she says is true, I'm not quite sure how that's calculated. And again, I dare say, like most of the figures we're presented with, it would have been arrived at via slightly spurious means. But it potentially is very capable. I think the question to ask is what is the intended purpose and what sort of countermeasures would, for example, Russia have? And with everything else we've talked about, drones particularly, the Russians either have the exact same capability or they have the countermeasure which is better established and more capable. So I think what remains to be seen is what on earth the intended operational use for this is.
Well, that's a very good question. And so I wonder, is it about shooting down drones or other missile defense, or is it for setting forest fires, which help with the climate change agenda? But anyway, we can discuss that more in the future. I'm saying that a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but let's stick with DSTL. And they've decided to set up what they're describing as centres for doctoral training. So there are two of them being set up. These centres are going to enable novel research and provide a future pipeline of trained research staff in critical technology areas for defence. So it's not a huge amount of money. It's £16 million so far, but it's going to fund centres for doctoral training led from the universities of Southampton and Edinburgh. So let's have a look at the Edinburgh one in particular and look at the key areas that they're looking at. So artificial intelligence, autonomy, so that's autonomy of vehicles and so on, digital twins and human-machine interaction. So this fits in with the 6G video that we were showing, I think this time last week. But I want to focus for this purpose on the digital twins aspect of this, because many people aren't aware of digital twins. So let's just remind everybody what digital twins are. So this is from the IBM website. What is a digital twin? So let's look at their definition. A digital twin is a virtual representation of an object or system designed to reflect a physical object accurately. It spans the object's life cycle, is updated from real-time data, and uses simulation, machine learning, and reasoning to help make decisions. And of course, mostly this is being promoted as something which you apply to infrastructure. So if you create a digital twin of a railway network and you can analyze its maintenance requirements, you can analyze its any potential for problems on the lines and so on in real time. But my issue with this is the behavioral change in particular, because they're not just looking at digital twins of physical steel and infrastructure, they're looking at digital twins of human beings as well. This is something which is being widely researched in universities. Let's just bring a couple of the research papers on screen. So here is one, designing human digital twins for behavior-changing therapy and rehabilitation, a systematic review. Here's another one, designing human digital twins. That's the same one. I do apologize. Here's another example from another paper. This is all about human behavior modeling in the digital twin. So digital twins, human digital twins being a feature of academic research already. Now, of course, it wouldn't be possible to model with current IT infrastructure to model or create digital twins for every human being in the country. But what happens if you want to create a digital twin for perhaps some people of interest, maybe people that are involved in campaign groups or in activism in some way, with a view to either working out what would be the best way to change people's behaviors, or at least to try to analyze what actions they might be taking in the future. So there are a couple of aspects to this. One is how they analyze changing behaviors in human beings, but also how they analyze the potential for, shall we say, pre-crime and thought crime, and things that people haven't actually done but may in the digital metaverse be considered as being a likely outcome. I think this is an extremely dangerous direction to be heading in, and we'll keep reporting on this in the coming days and weeks.